What's going on, everybody? Good evening. It is me, and I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for, 30 minutes to an hour. We got a late start, later than I was hoping, start to this little live stream, this little low-key Sunday evening live stream. And the topic of conversation tonight, and we never stay on topic, and that's cool. That's how it should be. But the topic of conversation tonight is what was your favorite childhood toy? And the reason that this topic is the topic of the night is because me and my daughter earlier today pulled out a ton of my old action figures and Legos and stuff like that from when I was a kid. A couple boxes. Poured them all out on the floor, and I told her about, different characters, and she played with them and kind of like turned my office into a room, like a world. She likes to make worlds. So like, for example, like with sidewalk chalk, she likes to draw a top-down map of a world with like roads and stores and cars and people. So she likes making worlds. So in my office, she took all of my old action figures and like made a world. And it's fun. But yeah, I have everything from like Spawn to Star Wars to G.I. Joe to Ninja Turtles to random ass, like, McDonald's toys, Jurassic Park, RoboCop, Terminator, Aliens, just all sorts of action figures in there from all sorts of different things that you may be familiar with and they may be lost with time, But what's crazy is there's this little, like, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe I'll take a picture of it. This little rinky-dink, like, dollar store robot toy that I had. It's like the size of an action figure. It doesn't articulate at all. There's no movement to it. It's just like a plastic, chrome-looking dollar store robot. And in the past, there was like a little button that you could press, and it had like almost Cyclops goggles, like lenses, and they would glow red. You press the button, it glows red. This thing is 30 years old, and today I pressed that button for the first time in maybe 30 years, and it lit up. It lit up. How is that possible? This 30-year-old toy that I never changed the battery in, because who gives a shit, it was like a dollar store, nothing. It lit up. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. Also, a Jurassic Park Velociraptor that I had, I pulled you pull the legs back and it goes, Rah! The audio played for that as well. I couldn't believe it. These batteries have not been changed in 30 years. Crazy. It was wild. Couldn't believe it. But anyway, let's talk old toys. Let's get nostalgic, man. Video games, toys, board games, whatever you got, cul-de-sac, street hockey, pinecone wars in the backyard. Let's get into it, man. What were you guys into when you were growing up? I'm feeling nostalgic after I went through all my old toys with my daughter. A lot of you guys, I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1986. So some of you guys might be around my age, and maybe we had a similar experience, you know. Maybe we'll have some of the same toys. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Swish Fish, good to see you. Thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Swish says, I was a creative kid and made my own toys out of cardboard/duct tape. Lots of dolls, wrist toys based on TV shows, and even spaceships I'd climb into. That sounds a lot like my daughter. She is a very, well, we've made robots out of cardboard boxes, and she likes to paint them. She'll like paint a robot face on a cardboard box, and we'll take paper towel rolls, like the cardboard of that as arms. We'll get like a bigger box for the trunk and the legs and stuff. And then she likes to paint and put stickers on it and call it like Robota or whatever. You know what I mean? But she's very similar. She wants us to save all the delivery boxes that we get, and then she uses them as like storefronts for her Barbies or whatever, stuffed animals, you know. But she's very similar in that way, where she likes to kind of create her own world, you know, create her own worlds and her own little fun experience. And she, like, her favorite toys are her stuffed animals. That's like, for years, that's all she's ever wanted to play with. She only recently really started playing with Barbies, but that was for like a couple weeks, and now she's back into her stuffed animals. And I swear to God, she has like over 100. And it just litters the upstairs playroom. And she creates these little fun worlds that you probably did as well, you know. But yeah, that's I'm sure you probably don't have, unless your parents saved those. You probably don't have many of those left, but it's fun to do. It's fun to do. I like doing that kind of stuff with her too, you know. Making worlds, as she calls it, making worlds. But I appreciate that first super chat and channel support of the stream, Swish. I hope you're doing well. Oh, the memories, right? Oh, the memories. But yeah, we actually made a spaceship. It was a couple years ago now. A spaceship out of a big ass delivery box for some, I can't remember what came in it, but she could fit inside of it, and I cut windows in it, and like we painted on the inside like a dashboard with controls and stuff, and I would close her in it and then push her all around downstairs, like push her and spin her around and stuff like that, and that was fun. Nah, I see a lot of Legos in the chat there. My daughter hasn't gotten into Legos yet, but funny, we played with some of my old Legos today. And the Legos that I was really into was like the Knights in Shining Armor Lego sets. I took a picture of some of them on Twitter today. But yeah, I used to make castles. I used to love like the knights. They had like wolves on their chest and armor, and like horses with armor on it and flags, and I don't know, it was really cool. I just, that's the Lego stuff that I really got into, like the medieval Lego stuff, you know. But nice. Yeah, I had some Micro Machines as well. I had Star Wars Micro Machines primarily. They were Micro Machines, right? The Star Wars ones, or were they a different brand? Let me see. Micro Machines Star Wars. I'm pretty sure they were Micro Machines. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yep, I had these, the Star Wars Micro Machines. I don't remember having any other Micro Machines other than Star Wars, but yeah. Oscar Rodriguez, Evans Media, and Guarcool Mole Games. Did I say that correctly? If I did not, please correct me, and I'll try not to mess it up in the future. I appreciate the super chats there, fellas. Be patient with me. I'm long-winded this evening. This is a fun topic. Oscar says, growing up, it was Legos. In retrospect, I loved creative freedom that they offered me. Me and Dad built a post-apocalyptic town out of Star Wars sets. That's fun. Dude, growing up, Oscar, I don't remember really ever having Lego Star Wars stuff. And come to think of it, I really don't know if there were Lego Star Wars in the 90s? Let's see. Okay, interesting. Okay, so in 1999, Lego announced its partnership with Lucasfilm. In the same year, the first Lego Star Wars set was released. So Lego and Star Wars partnered in 1999. Interesting. So yeah, I didn't have a Lego Star Wars set ever. That's why I have no memory of there being Lego Star Wars. Because in 1999, I was 13, and I probably didn't touch a Lego around that time. 13 years old, probably more video games, street hockey, stuff like that. But that's interesting. I learned something new tonight, Oscar. But yeah, I'm with you. I loved playing with my like I said, my medieval Lego sets. That was like the Lego stuff that I absolutely loved. I remember building castles and like getting construction paper to make a moat around my castle, and different invading forces and all that kind of stuff come into the castle. And you're right, it's almost more than like a toy. It's a really creative outlet, a really I don't know, you have the ability to it's not like you're just playing with action figures. You're actually making a world. You're using a little bit of innovation to create what you're playing with. But yeah, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate the super chat. More than that, Oscar, I appreciate you inadvertently teaching me that Lego and Star Wars didn't start until 1999. I did not know that. I had never thought about that until just now, Oscar. That I have no memory of Legos, playing with Lego Star Wars in the 90s. And being a big Star Wars fan as a kid, I definitely would have had some if they existed, but I never even put two and two together. I never even thought about that I had no Lego Star Wars sets when I was growing up in the 90s. And it never dawned on me, and I never even thought about it. But they didn't exist. Interesting. But I appreciate that, man. Evans Media. Sorry, guys. Went down the wrong pipe there. Evans Media and Guacul. I don't see it phonetically spelled in the chat, so I'm going to keep saying Guacul. Evan says, not on topic, but I got tickets to Oppenheimer in 70mm IMAX going on August 9th. I've never seen a movie on film before. Oh, nice. Much less 70mm IMAX. So excited. It's a great one to see. I'm not going to spoil anything. The movie, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I do have a desire to watch it again. It's 3 hours long, though. It's one of the better movies that I've ever seen. I think it's Christopher Nolan's, in my opinion, best. Cillian Murphy, absolutely, I don't know, Oscar worthy. Yeah, enjoy it. I saw it in IMAX as well. We have an IMAX theater in Jacksonville. Well, kind of on the outskirts of Jacksonville. It's like it's called World Golf Village, and it's like in kind of neighborhood, but it's like a big, I don't know, man. It's actually closing down. This IMAX theater is closing down. Oh, you've already seen it. Okay, nice, man. Nice. But yeah, this IMAX theater is closing down. It's been there for a long time. The whole area of the World Golf Village is, I mean, it's supposed to be this big hub of golf, and like there's a golf course, and I think there's a golf course. It'd be kind of stupid if there wasn't a golf course there. But there's supposed to be like a PGA Hall of Fame and a museum there, and the Murray brothers, as in Bill Murray, owns a restaurant there. It's actually pretty good, but like the whole area is just dead. It's been dead and empty for years. There's a huge shopping center, and the only thing in there is the Murray brothers restaurant called Caddyshack and IMAX. And then the rest of this giant shopping center there's nothing in it. It's kind of a sad place, but unfortunately the IMAX theater is closing down. And I'd go there a couple times a year to see a movie. Really, it's unfortunate, but anyway, enjoy it, man. You already saw it, but I absolutely loved the movie. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. Guarcool Mole, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Non-star... Golly. I haven't coughed all day. And now I have like a little tickle in my throat. A tickle. There we go. You said non-Star Wars, Woody and Buzz, but Star Wars I had a Millennium Falcon transformer that would transform into Chewie and Han. What? It was so cool, I wish I still had it. I have never heard of such thing. Let me look this up. Guarcool. Millennium Falcon transformer. Let's see. Oh, this must be what you're talking about. They're legit like... This is crazy. It is actually the Transformers brand, too. The entire Millennium Falcon breaks in half, and one is like a mechanized Chewbacca, and one is a mechanized, like, chrome-headed Han Solo. I've never even heard of this. I've never seen this, man. That's funny. That's funny. When did this come out? I'm so curious. What is this thing? Millennium Falcon Transformers Wiki. Second release, 2018. I'm guessing that's not the one. Okay, so... Combiners, Han Solo, much like the 2006 iteration. So I guess 2006, it looks like. 2006, okay, interesting. Yeah, that was way after my time. In 2006, I was 20. I wasn't buying Millennium Falcon Transformer toys. This is goofy looking, but I like it, man. It's one of those silly things that, I mean, you guys probably, you know, those who are around my age, we had Power of the Force, and there were a lot of, like, weird accessories that came with action figures that had nothing to do with the movies and stuff like that, you know? But that's cool, man. I always enjoy learning about weird and new things that I have no idea about, and this is definitely one of them. But I never had any Toy Story. Oh, the only Toy Story toys that I had was like a bucket of Toy Story branded Army Men. My daughter has some Toy Story toys. But yeah, other than that, I never had any. That I remember at least. But interesting. But I appreciate that. Super chat and channel support, man. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you so much as well. Oscar says, also my original Xbox games are essentially toys. Yeah, I go along with that line of logic as well. You know, my first ever console was the original Nintendo, the NES, and quickly got a Super Nintendo, and then I had a Game Gear. Does anybody remember the Sega Game Gear? And then I had a Nintendo 64, and the Nintendo... Well, I was going to say the Nintendo 64 was like one of the biggest things, gaming systems for me, but it might be the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo is where I really got into well, I don't know. The Super Nintendo was a good introduction, and then I kind of went crazy with the Nintendo 64, and then we got a PC. I got into PC gaming around the same time. So, yeah. For me, it was the console that brings me the most like childhood nostalgia. Is the Nintendo 64. Like, I'll never forget getting it for Christmas. I was the kind of kid, I didn't ask for a Nintendo 64. I was the kind of kid who, like, I don't know, I made Christmas lists, but I didn't like ask for a lot, and I didn't expect to get things. I think maybe growing up, I had it in my head that, you know, and we were straight down the middle class. You know, my dad had a good union job with an automaker. But in my head, I was like, oh, toys cost money, and I don't want them to spend money. And I don't know, I never told my parents that or anything, but I remember kind of having those thoughts. Like, I don't know, it's weird. But I didn't ask for a Nintendo 64, never in a million years expected to get one, but my parents got me one. And I remember opening a video game for it Christmas morning, and I opened it, and I was like, oh, I don't have this system. I won't be able to play this game. And I think it was my mom said, we'll just take it back and get you one that'll work. And then later, Christmas morning, I ended up opening the Nintendo 64. And the rest is history, man. I loved that system. Loved that system. Still love it. I still have it. I still have my Nintendo 64 and all my games. We actually have 2 Nintendo 64s in the house. One's the one that my wife grew up with, and one's mine. So, yeah. Golly, the game that I loved all the games prior to this game, but the game that I think I was the most excited for was Star Fox 64. Dude, I subscribed to Nintendo Power magazine. I would save all those magazines. I would read those articles constantly. We'd go on road trips, and I'd bring those magazines with me, and I would just look at the Star Fox 64 pictures over and over, the same pictures over and over and over again. Read the same stupid articles over and over. Pop that. Does anybody remember the VHS tape for Star Fox 64 promotion that they sent? Just is really, if you ever get a chance, it's super goofy. I don't know, it's like 10 minutes long. But there's a VHS tape that everybody who subscribed to Nintendo Power got in the mail. And it was just a promotion for Star Fox 64. I had this really goofy storyline where the guys from Sega and Sony were trying to steal information about Star Fox 64 and the Rumble Pack. It's just super goofy. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, Oscar. Fran's Nerdnan, good to see you, man. Fran says, hello, Greedo. Hope you're staying cool. Favorite toy growing up was my Action Fleet X-Wing and a little Iron Giant that came with the movie on VHS. Nice. Action Fleet, is that the like miniature ones? Action Fleet X-Wing. Yeah, dude. Dude, I had this. I had the TIE Fighter. I had the Imperial Shuttle. I remember these. I loved them. I liked these more than like the full-size X-Wing and like TIE Fighter that I had, because they were more manageable in a young child's hand. You know what I mean? Flying around and stuff like that. Yeah, these are really cool. I still have a couple of them. I still have one of the stands that you could sit it on. Actually, that'd be kind of cool to put it on a stand and put it on one of my shelves. I like putting like really unique and like things that have a meaning to it on my shelves, you know? And this would be a good one. Something small that would sit on a shelf. Action Fleet. Hell yeah, friends. Hell yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen Iron Giant, to tell you the truth. I really don't know if I've ever seen the Iron Giant. That would be a good one to watch with my daughter, because I don't think I've ever seen it, in all honesty. I'm going to keep this up, and I'm going to read about it. And my daughter's not one to, like, sit down and watch a movie for a long time. Doesn't really have that attention span, unless we're in a movie theater. Like, she'll watch a 30-minute show, but after that, she's just bouncing off the walls. But maybe I can convince her one day to pop popcorn and pig out on candy and just watch some Iron Giant. But yeah. Anyway, friends, I appreciate that. This is fun. Little jolts of nostalgia, things that I haven't thought of in years. Action Fleet. Nice. Anyway, friends, I appreciate that, man. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you so much once again. Oscar says, favorite Xbox games were Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, Star Wars RC, SWRC, Republic Commando, Crash, Twin Sanity, Halo 1 and 2, DOA, what does that stand for? It's not Dead on Arrival. What is DOA through? Why I can picture the game box. DOA 3. Oh, Dead or Alive. That's right. Dead or Alive. Okay. And don't tell my parents, to this day they had no idea. DOAX. What is DOAX? Dead or Alive X? Extreme Venus Vacation? What is this? Is that what you're talking about? Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation? Oh, I see why you didn't tell your parents. Yeah, I see why you didn't tell your parents, my friend. I guess it's kind of similar to like when I was growing up, Oscar. Duke Nukem 3D was out. And I don't know if they ever knew that there was an adult mode. But I sure did when I was a kid. Dead or Alive volleyball game. Beach volleyball. Interesting. I never heard of this. Didn't know that this existed. So, Oscar, most of those games I've never played. I mean, obviously I played the first two Battlefronts on the PC, not the Xbox. I never had an original Xbox. Never played Republic Commando until a couple years ago on the PC. Didn't play much of it. Maybe I'll do a playthrough one day. Never played any of the Crash games. I've actually... The only Halo game that I've ever played is the first one. That's just because my buddy had an Xbox. And I've never played like the single player or anything. I've only played local couch 1v1 multiplayer. Like literally in my entire life, that's the only Halo stuff I've ever played. And I think the reason behind that is I never really was much of a console gamer. Once I got into PC gaming, like around the age of... I mean, I was a PC gamer super early. I started playing PC games, I don't know, when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. But I really got into it around like when I was 12 or so. So I never had a console to play a lot of those games. You know, I never had an Xbox until really the Xbox One. Really, yeah. Never played the Dead or Alive games. They really don't know what they are. I guess they're fighting games from what I'm looking at. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. Shake it, baby. Duke Nukem 3D. Magnetics. What's that? Magnetics. 80s kid from the 90s. Let's see. Magnetics toy. 90s? Magnetics. I don't know what magnetics are. Like magnet blocks? No. Balls of steel. I have balls of steel. Yeah, me too, Sky. I remember playing the original GTA, the original Wolfenstein, Doom, Hexen, the Duke Nukem 3D. Yeah, the first Duke Nukem, even the side scroller one. Yeah. Was it Alone in the Dark? Is that what it was called? The first Resident Evil on the PC. Just a ton of games. I remember the day I got Half-Life. I mean, first time I ever played Counter-Strike. Late 90s. Crazy. Crazy, man. My first MMO in like 1998 was Ultima Online. And I've kind of been obsessed with it since then. It's just like when I think of an MMO, Ultima Online around that time is like my perfect MMO, you know? But I haven't even mentioned some of my favorite toys this stream. One of my favorite toys was, there was a Ghostbusters house that came out. I don't know when this thing came out, but I had it in the early 90s. Maybe even the late 80s. But it was a Ghostbusters, it was the Ghostbusters Firehouse. And I don't know how tall it was, a couple feet tall, 3 feet tall maybe. And there was like 3 floors to it, and you could pour in like goo at the top, and the goo would go through the pipes and like ooze out. That thing was just like home base for all of my action figures. Yeah. Magnetics with an X. Let me look this up. I don't know. These don't ring a bell, but my daughter has something similar to this, magnetics. They're more like magnet blocks. They're not like this, though. Nah, I've never seen these, I don't think. I never got into Power Rangers. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe that came a little later than when I was a kid. But I was heavily into Ninja Turtles. Yeah, growing up, I had like Ninja Turtle stickers all over my walls. That was my shit, man. I still have most of my action figures still, my Ninja Turtle figures. Watched the cartoon. Yeah, I was big time into Ninja Turtles growing up. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you once again for the super chat and channel support. Oscar says, what did you think of Xbox beating the FTC and Sony? I don't really know what's going on with this. I kind of, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I live under a rock. I know something was going on. Let me look this up. Xbox, FTC, Sony. FTC, Federal Trade Commission, Microsoft News from Big Courtroom. California judge ruled in Microsoft's favor on the FTC request for preliminary injunction blocking its $68 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard. The FTC is now appealing the loss of Microsoft, all before the... I can't really comment on this just because I don't know the details. Were they trying to claim some kind of monopoly? I don't know. CMA has warned a proposal restructuring of its merger could result in it starting a new investigation. The regulator has issued a notice of extension for its overall investigation into the deal, moving the date for final undertakings or final order from July 18th to August 29th. Under the terms of the deal, Microsoft has until July 18th to try and close its proposed acquisition. Otherwise, it has to renegotiate new terms or pay a $3 billion in breakup fees to Activision and Blizzard. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Yeah, Oscar, this is something that I'm going to have to actually look into because I haven't really... I knew that there was something like this going on. I don't know the nitty-gritty. I don't know the details. I don't even know what the issue was. So I honestly can't really comment on this just because, I don't want to be one of those dudes who has an opinion on everything and they don't know anything about the thing that they have an opinion on, because that is a big problem in our world today. Everybody, especially people on the internet with a goddamn microphone, they have to have an opinion on everything, even though they don't know shit about the thing that they're having an opinion on. And I don't want to be one of those guys. So, anyway, I appreciate that, Oscar. When I lay in bed tonight, I'm going to pull up some articles and do a little digging. I'm curious. Hell yeah, Steely Dan. No, I don't. I mean, I kind of remember an or an X-Men cartoon rather, but I don't. I don't really remember watching an X-Men cartoon growing up. The only X-Men stuff that I really had, I had some comic books. I had action figures. But oddly enough, the most X-Men stuff that I had were like trading cards. I don't know. I still have them. It's weird. I still have X-Men trading cards. I don't know why I got into those for a short period of time. But no. Sony was afraid of losing Activision Blizzard games could become exclusive to the Xbox brand, especially Call of Duty. Oh, I see. Interesting. Yeah, it makes sense. But exclusive rights to video games and different consoles and stuff like that, I mean, that's nothing new. But here I go again talking about something I don't know anything about, right? Yeah, me too, Sky. The internet, way too many people on the internet are way too on the internet. And these culture war conversations that they have, to anybody that isn't like perpetually online, just sounds stupid and goofy and a waste of time to talk about, Most of the time, these dumbass culture war complaints that you hear constantly it drives up views, clicks for whatever reason. People love this piddly little shit that people constantly complain about, but like most of the time, the things that they're talking about and complaining about, with a shrug of the shoulders and a big who gives a shit, that's all the attitude that you need. It's embarrassing. Like there's giant YouTubers out there that all they do is like battle in this stupid ass culture war, and as a man I find it embarrassing as fuck. Anyway, like just pumping out videos about who gives a shit stuff. I mean, yeah, I get it. I have a YouTube channel of Star Wars. People might say who gives a shit, but it's fun. I'm not making like 5 videos in a day complaining about what somebody said that they didn't like. Or complaining about something that doesn't fucking matter. Alright, my wife just texted me and said, my daughter is asleep. It was her turn to do bedtime tonight. So, that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go downstairs. We're actually going to Hollywood Studios in Epcot next week, so we're going to do a little bit of research. It's Food and Wine Festival at Epcot. We're going to do a little research, like what the menu's like, where we're going to eat and stuff like that. So for the next hour, we're going to be watching some YouTube videos and just getting excited for our little family trip. Got a hotel down there for 2 days. Good time. But yeah, thanks for getting a little nostalgic with me tonight, guys. I appreciate it. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in to everybody who super chatted this evening. Swish, Oscar, Evans, Guacamole, Franz. I appreciate it, guys. But yeah, anyway. Alright. What is today? Sunday. I'll probably do a stream Tuesday night. Actually, let's see, Thursday. Probably Wednesday night is when I'll do a stream. Wait, are we going out of town then? Or staying the night? No, we're staying the night. Okay. Yeah, Wednesday night I will do a stream. So, if you're on, come hang out. Alright, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your night. Wherever you are on planet Earth. And I'll catch you all on the flip side. See ya.